Good morning, afternoon, and evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Dota Yoshi, and I'm joined here today by Xalorith. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm doing quite well. Quite excited to see this match between Noxious Gaming and Mek Level Gaming. Two very strong teams. And once again, I believe this is for the second spot on that ladder. Quite important.
You would be absolutely correct there. We have Mek Level Gaming, who are currently fourth, challenging Noxious for their first position on the Cybergamer Ladder. It should be a very high-class game. Mek Level Gaming have been doing a little bit of warm-up for this match. They're looking in fine condition. Noxious Gaming, I believe they played a game last night or the previous night, and they played another fantastic game. So, two top four teams going to get it. Should see a great game of Dota. So now,
Yeah, definitely.
as for the bans, we see that Batrider being banned out by Mek Level Gaming. It's the typical ban these days. Batrider is one of the strongest heroes in the game, especially since there wasn't really too much of a nerf to him on 6.78, other than Magic Community now dispels his napalm stacks. However, he's still ridiculously strong throughout the entire game, and Io, always one of those heroes to be banned off. That global presence Io brings to the table is beyond ridiculous. That attack speed and that tether, one of the most fantastic abilities in the game. So they do take that out. Nyx Assassin, bit of afraid that Roman potential that Noxious Gaming could bring up with that Nyx Assassin.
Yeah, some pretty standard picks compared to sort of the current meta. We haven't seen too many of the changes really affect these bands so far. As you're saying, that Io, great potential, and he works so well with so many heroes. Works well with the Nakes and the Chaos Knight, for example. Just able to grab a hero, put him on the other side of the map, and dish out some real damage. Oh, it's a great support hero in general, though. So some great bands going out here. We'll see what there it is. It's the Gyrocopter. So another great band there from Noxious Gaming.
So we do still have a few heroes left in the pool, such as that Lifestealer as one. There's still Magnus, so I would be a little bit surprised if the Magnus gets through. We see the Shadow Demon being picked up. Well, a fantastic counter to the Lifestealer. You also see usually Banes being picked up along with Shadow Demons to try and get as much damage that goes through Magic Community as possible. You have that Purge, you have that Banes and Feeble, and it just really negates Lifesteal in those early to mid games, and this lifesteal will slowly grow out of it, but in the early to mid phase, you can't do anything about it. So Shadow Demon being a very good pickup against the lifestealer, who should be strong quite early in the game, unless Noxious Gaming do decide to shut down lifesteal, which is very hard with that rage.
Definitely. And we'll see what the second pick is from Noxious Gaming. As you're saying, Lifestealer, very strong. Doesn't do so well in the early game, and his early game has been nerfed a little bit more. That open wounds, the range, the cast range. So he certainly isn't as strong as he was before, but nonetheless, an excellent late game hero. Um, Great pickup by this Shadow Demon, and we do see Lone Druid actually. So we'll see Lone Druid most likely in the solo off lane. A great choice there by Noxious Gaming.
Yeah, even though with that little bit of extra bounty on your bay, you need to be more careful. 100's still always a fantastic pickup. If you can play well, you can and get one lucky entangle, you get first blood, you get kills all over the place. So it just comes down to a little bit of RNG until you start picking up your items later in the game, and you can just snowball it from there. And we do see that Clockwork being picked up by Mek Level Gaming. They enjoy their Clockwork. They can play a very good Clockwork, and Clockwork is one of those heroes that will disrupt anything, ruin any kind of fight or positioning that the other team does have. So I like this pick up by Mek Level Gaming. They're going to try and catch Noxious off guard and split them up as a team. If they can split them up, that Lifestealer, he's got all the rain in the world to pick off any hero he wants.
Definitely, and we do see the Weaver and the Juggernaut band so far, and there's that Bane man. A little bit surprised with that Bane man. I'm really curious as to why Noxious didn't decide to grab him and instead of just banning him. I guess they do fear that that Mek Level Gaming will pick him up, as Bane can counter Lone Druid quite well. He can Nightmare, for example, Lone Druid himself, and enfeeble the Bear or a Fiend's Gripper hero. So Bane is strong. The Weaver, I suspect, well, Weaver can sort of go in an off lane up against Oh, I suspect the Clockwork he won't be going in offlane, but Weaver, another strong hero, and this is the the Queen of Pain, a ban. So we might see something interesting in the mid lane from Mek Level Gaming in this case.
I still want to point out there's no Magnus pickup. What is this? I mean,
Yeah,
It's one of those heroes that will turn around any game. You can win it from the get-go, and just nothing's been touched to him at the moment. It's very strange not to see him picked up, especially after 4 bans and 4 picks. Well, 8 bans and 4 picks.
Yeah, I'm actually quite curious as to why they have not picked up or banned him out yet. I mean, he did get a little bit nerfed in that last in the 6.78 patch. I don't feel like that nerf was very intense. So I mean, bulk crowing is a little bit more risky, as it does take a little bit more time for your bulk to come back. And his damage from the ultimate did get nerfed, but nonetheless, he can still set up so many good plays. And we do see the Jakiro pick up, great support hero, and it works well with that Shadow Demon.
And we might look to see a little bit of the towers being going out early. For Noxious might be going for that little bit of a fast push strategy if they decide to pick up that liquid fire. If they don't pick up that liquid fire, that's a lot of burst damage coming out by that Jewel Breath to follow it up. So Jakiro is always a good pickup, especially with that Ice Path also being able to separate heroes. So if a Clockwork's cogs do come out, at least you've got that very long range of that Ice Path to throw out and try and help control the fights a bit better.
Definitely, and you know, Jakiro's ultimate does really well in the in the team fight. So I'm a little bit surprised that. Well, I'm curious to see if Noxious Gaming will pick up that Magnus to work in combination with that, or if they might pick up something else. I mean, Darkseid is still on the board. He can work very well with Jakiro, ensuring that the vacuum and the ice bath and the macro pyre go off. But we'll see what they decide. There's still quite a few choices on the board at the moment.
Like, both sides do need a mid hero, so they can pick up that Magnus. There's still a Puck in the pool. I wouldn't be too surprised if Mek Level Gaming do decide to go for a Puck build, because Puck and the Dream Core can help Clockwork and his cogs quite a lot, and they'll set up a lot of stuff. They do pick up that Nature's Prophet, so Mek Level Gaming do want to pick up a little bit of a global presence on the map. They're expecting Noxious Gaming to group up and start going for those early towers, so they're going to try and counter that by picking up Nature's Prophet and pushing the other lanes to try to trade these towers and get through this early game for their lifesteal to start becoming very predominant. And then even Nature's Prophet, if he does decide to go for those carry intensive builds with the Desolator, and he could start getting a lot of damage out, or you might pick up that Scythe and try and help keep down that Lone Druid.
Definitely. I don't think Lifestealer and Nature's Prophet are two heroes that work so well together. Lifestealer just infests on Nature's Prophet, and you have a global Nags bomb appear anywhere on the map, and this does so much damage very quickly. I'll see how. I'm quite interested to see how well they'll execute that, but I definitely expect to see it happen this game.
I'm slightly curious to wonder if Mek Level Gaming might run this Nature's Prophet mid, because I've seen a few teams they like to run Nature's Prophet mid. It's a little bit more of a greedy lineup, but then you can have your 2 supports running with that lifestealer, because Mek Level Gaming don't have their 2 supports, 2 direct supports. They've got an offlaner, they have the Nature's Prophet, but then you still need to pick up your 2 generic supports. However, if they do pick up 1 support and then go for that mid-roll hero, then they're going for a little bit less greedy of a build. Actually, that's a little bit more greedy of a build if you go for that 1 support. My mistake. But yeah, I look to see this Nature's Prophet to play mid.
Yeah, it's actually quite an interesting point you raise there. I mean, you're right, Nature's Prophet can mid, although the problem is, I mean, if he tries to do anything with those treants, and he has to be careful that they don't get killed, because that just might provide more farm to whoever else is going to be in mid. So he has to be a little bit careful there. And as you said, it's very greedy. I'm quite interested to see where they play him. We do see the Phantom Assassin pick up, and that Phantom Assassin quite strong. And against the lifesteal, I think it'll work very well. We do see Lifestealer, the Lifestealer against the Phantom Assassin, that blur should ensure that he does not do so well on a toe-to-toe carry versus carry sort of situation, but he can always pick up that BKB.
It'll almost force Lifesteal down to that MKB route, because if they do go into that one-on-one engagement, he's gonna probably lose out to a Phantom Assassin. Unless he has the supports of his allies. So he's almost been forced down this MKB route. It's the same thing if someone picks up a Brewmaster. Usually you almost get forced down to an MKB because that haze or any kind of evasion is just a pain to deal with. So look, you got a point. It'll look forward to seeing that Lifesteal go down that MKB. He'll probably pick up his drums, armlet, and then go for an MKB. And now we do see the final bans come out. The Puck's being taken out from Mek Level Gaming. They don't feel like they want to go up against a puck with whoever they're going to be running mid. However, Noxious Gaming will pick up that Conker, who is a fantastic mid hero in himself. But with that cleave, being able to constantly harass any opponent down, and being able to clean up creeps, go to get your bottle, and then control the runes quite efficiently if you have the wards. So a nice pick up there on Noxious Gaming. And also that boat, the boat helps in any situation.
Yeah, and that boat can work very, very well with that Jakiro. You know, if they can set up their ultimates very well, it can do quite a lot of damage. However, this Rubik is going to cause a lot of problems for them. You know, there's a lot of great abilities that Rubik can steal, such as Jakiros or Kunkers. So they have to be very careful there. I suspect the Kunker will be in the mid lane in this lineup for Noxious Gaming. We're still yet to see if the Nature's Prophet will be in the mid for Mek Level Gaming. It's still sort of yet to be decided, although right now it does look a little bit likely. But I guess we'll find out in this last pick.
Just by looking at Mek Level Gaming, it looks like they're gonna. I was gonna say they'll pick up the Kotal, but it did get banned out by Noxious Gaming. But they do pick up the Visage, and Visage is a definite tri-lane hero. You can't run him in any other position. And they're gonna be wanting to make this an aggressive tri-lane and go tri-lane versus tri-lane, because in tri-lane against tri-lane, Visage and his Soul Assumption just works so fantastic. It's beyond ridiculous. The amount of charges you get and the amount of damage you can do out in those early levels is. It's almost overpowered, but it's not. It's one of those fantastic heroes that played well, will do a lot early game. And to introduce the teams on Noxious Gaming, we have their captain being played on the Jakiro. It will be Moops. He will be supporting down in the bottom lane, K-Jan on that Phantom Assassin. In mid lane will be played by Royo, Dota on that Conker. Shadow Demon will be the final support, IWJ. And in that off lane will be Wizard Fox on that lone Druid.
Definitely, and for Mek Level Gaming, we see their captain Tinky on the Visage. We see Pickle on the Lifesteal, Jippy on the Rubik. Exa is going to be on the Clockwork, and last but not least, we have Matino on the Nature's Prophet, who is not moved out of the base yet.
Dude.
We currently have Clockwork sitting in the mid lane, but I suspect he might move over.
Yeah, we might even see Nature's Prophet just abandon this bottom lane altogether, because if they expect any kind of tri-lane coming down bottom, they might just want to abandon it, rotate that Nature's Prophet into the jungle so they still get farm. Because if Nature's Prophet has to use those treants and try and pull creeps and they get killed off, he'll miss out on waves of experience, especially if Noxious Gaming, they're very good at stacking, pulling and eliminating creep waves, and so it might. If they do decide to sack that bottom lane and just rotate the Nature's Prophet, it could be in their best interest, even though they might lose a tower early on. Especially if Jakiro notices this and decides to pick up a Liquid Fire, we could see that tier 1 tower be quite demolished very early on, maybe 3-4 minute mark. But we'll see how they do want to run this out. Or we could see, as you said, the exit run down bottom and take that off lane position.
Yeah, I'm quite curious as if they were just going to give this up, and I suspect that if it is going to be given up, then we will see a transition from the Radiant tri-lane up into the top, and they just leave the Phantom Assassin to be by herself and just get that free farm.
What I find a little bit weird is this Pickle on the lifesteal. He picked up Clarity. You don't see Clarity's picked up on lifesteals, even though they expect to be doing some aggression up top, aggression, blah. But picking up a Clarity is still a bit odd, unless he's holding it for someone. But I'm looking forward to see how much aggression they're going to throw in, but they won't be able to do too much. They're up against the Lone Druid. They might want to rotate early and try and get him out, or they just want to try and get this lifesteal up a lot of farm. And Tinky on that Visage might slowly fall off in the end, because with Visages, you want to try and get those early kills, you want to try and get that early damage, but if he's not being able to do too much, Visage's earliness, effectiveness is just going to run a bit dry, and he'll start to become a bit stale later on in the game, unless you can pick up those levels, get those familiars out and running, and do a fair bit of damage with them. So at the moment, I sort of give it to Noxious, as they have that little bit of better composition on their lineups. We do see their Nature's Prophet, Matino, he did decide to rotate down and not sack this lane. So we will be seeing a little bit of contention down bottom. He's not going to get his Treant and grab 2 creeps. He's going to miss the other 2 creeps. That's not what you want, but it's better than nothing.
Yeah, and we're going to see that X is just going to stay in the mid lane. He's going to go up against this Kunkka. That a little bit interesting. I suspect Kunkka won't have too much troubles here in this mid lane. In the top lane though, as you said, we do have Lifestealer picking up that clarity, and I'm going to take a wild guess and say it's if they decide to engage, he might be using open wounds a lot. It costs 110 mana, which is pretty much half his mana, so maybe that clarity is just to ensure that he pretty much has open wounds whenever they try to engage.
So in mid, this is going to be very detrimental for this Clockwork. I mean, he takes one splash or Tidebringer, and he's already unhappy. He needs to eat a tango, so he's going to be out of consumables quite fast. He's going to try and counter back with popping those clogs, trying to do any amount of damage back to that Kunkka, but it's still not a lot. Kunkka should be quite fine. He'll have his bottle up, not as early as his Clockwork, as he did rush his bottle, but Kunkka can afford not to go for it as he's getting these early creep kills. He's in 5 with 6 denies. 6 for 6. That's a fantastic start by this Kunkka. Down, Wizard Fox, the Lone Druid, has decided he's given up on that top lane. He wasn't able to get any pulls on his Spirit Bear. His Bear almost died, decides to rotate in the jungle. So he, however, is sacking this top lane, and he's just going to rotate into the jungle. See what he can grab out of there.
Yeah, that's actually going to hurt Noxious Gaming quite a little bit, as you don't, well, you generally don't get as much farm in the jungle as you would within the lane itself. And a free farm up there for the Lifestealer is going to cause them quite a bit of problems later on.
They've seen some nice stacking coming out by Tinky. Well, not really stacking, they're pulling it, and then Joppy's waiting to pull into that secondary camp. So these supports are able to find their farm, and then same can be said down in bottom lane too. However, that Nature's Prophet's just giving a little bit of annoyance with those trees coming out, giving the supports a little bit of gold, not as much gold as those creep camps, but he's trying to find whatever he can, try and pull whatever creeps he can, because Nature's Prophet, he's sitting on level 2, so he's gotten somewhere, but I still feel as if he needs to just forget out this lane, do what the Lone Dude's doing, and just give up, rotate into the jungle, because he's not finding anything down here. He may get a few creeps, but going up against the Shadow Demon and a Jakiro, at any moment, these two heroes could come out, disruption, into that ice path, and then you'll be finished up straight away by that Phantom Assassin.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he has no vision of this Radiant jungle, and they can pop out at any time. And it should be pretty much an instant death for him, or close to. And you don't really want to be giving away free kills to the Phantom Assassin. If she's allowed to snowball, she can snowball way better than the Lifestealer, so they have to be very, very careful there.
So Mr. Kunkka will be rotating down the bottom lane. He's doing a fantastic game so far. He's 12 for 12. He's completely shutting down this Clockwork in mid in terms of getting those creep kills. He just picked up a regen rune. He's rotating back into lane, getting more creep kills. He didn't miss much. Maybe missed one creep of experience, but got back in and be able to continue like nothing else is happening. Our top lane, however, Lifesteal is sitting 26 for 5. He's completely trumping the counterpart of that Phantom Assassin. He's in 10 creep kills ahead. And so Lifesteal's farm's just that much better. Phantom Assassin hasn't been able to pick up as many creeps, or maybe just a little bit of annoyance coming out by the Phantom Assassin, ruining those creeps, put them under the tower, so she can't hit it as effectively as this Lifestealer.
Yeah, definitely, and it's those pulls from the Dire supports from Mek Level Gaming. They've basically ensured that the creeps always stay where Lifestealer wants them, except for pretty much now, where they are a little bit under the tower, but nonetheless it looks like they'll still be able to pick up most of the last hit. I just want to say though, these cogs from exit, in the mid lane are doing crazy amounts of mana burn on Royu. It's basically ensured that his torrent, I think he's only cast one so far, and he's missed it. Like X has been doing really well in terms of that, but nonetheless, Kunkka's still getting a lot of farm.
So see that?
Do you see that top tier 1 tower?
Yep, very fast tower going down on the side of Noxious. Mek Level Gaming going to be happily picking up that extra gold, and that farm, Lifesteal's already got his roots up and running, and he'll be working towards his drums next, I would presume, or he might even want to rush the Midas. I mean, he's got 5 minutes to get Midas in, and the farm he's going, he'll have it in 4. So this Lifesteal's got a very well farm. He throws out the open wounds. TP support coming in by the Nature's Prophet. Sprout goes out. He's trapped in. A few auto attacks by this Nature's Prophet. One more auto attack by this Lifesteal, and they've got that first blood on top lane. So they're going to happily pick that up, and Lifesteal's just going to go further ahead. He's on 1300 gold, and this is not looking too good for the start, and they're going to be looking to pressure this tier 2 tower. Unfortunately, Nature's Prophet, never mind. He's got those creeps up and running if he wants to summon those sprouts, and they're coming out. So this tower, tier 2 tower is going to take a lot of damage, forcing the TP of the Jakiro down the bottom lane to try and help out this lone druid to keep him off that tower. I'm kind of surprised they didn't want to go for a trade themselves. However, they don't have the trading potential or the damage because their lone druid stuck in this top lane himself.
Yeah, I mean, if we could look at Lone Druid's farm, he's only sitting at 1.2k net worth. Compare that to the lifestealer. He's sitting at almost 3.3 now. He should be feeling very, very confident, very, very safe at where he is. And with the help of that first blood, he might just grab that early Midas. We'll see what it is. Actually, just finishes off his magic wand first. But we'll see what item he goes into next. As you said, it could be that drum. Could also be an armlet or something, depending on what he decides to play.
So we see a smoke up by the supports on Noxious Gaming. Moops and the Shadow Demon IWJ are smoked up, looking to find a kill on this Clockwork in mid. They're kind of in two awkward positions. They might suspect something on the side of Noxious Gaming, and they might just expect the Lone Druid's going to get that little bit of free farm. Clockwork, I don't think they can find the kill on Clockwork. He's got 900 HP, and the amount of damage that's coming out, unless they can land a boat and a torrent, which that Conquer does not have, he gets Mana Burn again, he's got nothing. So they're not going to be able to do too much. They might try and do a little bit of initiation. Disruption's coming out into the Ice Path. The Conquer's getting ready, but he's got nothing. He might do a little bit of damage. Great soul catcher coming out. They've got a lot of damage, but the Visage is here to help him out. Will this be enough to pop him off? No, it won't. So Clockwork's going to get out of there a fair bit of HP, about 100 HP. And then the supports of Mek Level Game coming in, give whatever support they can and pick up the levels while that Clockwork's gone.
Yeah, a great transition there from Mek Level Gaming Xalorith with that Visage. Basically ensured that that Noxious had to back off.
And top lane we see a
Oh, we
Sprout
got
coming
initiation
out.
here on.
And we see a
Yep.
great Wrath of Nature coming through it, finishing off the Lone Druid. Actually, the Lifesteal will pick up that kill, and that's exactly where they want it. And he's going for that very early drums. He'll have it in another 150 gold, and he'll have those drums up and running. So this Lifesteal is stacked. He's farmed. He's fat. There's not much else you can say. These bones that you can see now, yeah, they're not actually bones. It's just all his fat. So he's going very well. In the middle, we see a torrent into a boat coming out. Boat's going to completely whiff. Ice Puff's going to miss on all of them as well, and Kanko will fall to the supports of Mek Level Gaming. Final attack from that Clockwork of his battery will get that kill on him. So 3 kills on favour of Mek Level Gaming, 0 on Noxious. This is looking a little bit bad. They're 1500, just over 1500 gold, and over 1k XP ahead. And we do see the Infest popping and killing that Jakiro in mid once again. So that's another kill from a nice little sneaky rotation coming out of that lifesteal to make it in the mid lane and find that kill. Jakiro, they didn't really have any wards of this top rune, so lifesteal could easily make his way down and find that kill.
Mek Level Gaming is doing amazing here. They're in the lead now by 4 kills. Noxious have nothing to really contest it either. I mean, Phantom Assassin is sitting at
Hook shot on top,
3.3k
and we got
net
Nature's
worth.
Prophet jumping in. He's throwing out that Sprout. They're doing a lot of damage onto this Lone Druid, and Lone Druid will fall. We do have TP supports coming in by the Noxious, but they're not going to get there. Sorry about that, but...
No worries. Good spot there. I would have missed it otherwise. But yeah, as I was saying, Mek Level are really on top of this. I mean, Noxious cannot do anything. We saw a bit of a misplay there by them in the mid lane, both the Ice Path and the boat missing. I feel like that fight could have turned around, probably into their favor if it landed, but nonetheless, yeah, just Mek Level Gaming just really on the ball, and I don't even know what Noxious can do. I mean, they're gonna have to rely on their team fights, and considering the farm from Mek Level, even then it's gonna be tricky.
I mean, Phantom Assassin, she's got an okay farm going on. She's doing pretty well. She's got 62 last hits, but this Lone Druid, he's been involved in how many kills? 3 kills. He's got all 3 kills, and he's got 58 creep kills under his name as well. So there's only 4 creep kills behind, yet he's got another 1.3k gold. So this Lifesteal's doing a fantastic job being able to get those kills and get that farm. And this Phantom Assassin, she's just been sitting down here farming all alone. She hasn't been doing too much, and yet she can't keep up. So this is... hopefully she can keep going that farm and get a few of those lucky crits to be able to finish off those heroes. These familiars are looking around. They're going to see this creep pool. They're going to see a PA running around. Rubik's going to look at coming in and get a lift, but Phantom Assassin's got to be extremely careful here. They will find the kill. There's support. There's more coming down. Infest into that Clockwork. Clockwork's going to be looking for that jump. Familiars are in the way. They're blocking that jump off. They're not going to see which way the Phantom Assassin runs. They're going to suspect she's going back to the tower. They do jump in onto the other heroes. Jakiro will fall very fast. Nature's Prophet's come in, sprouted himself in with that Shadow Demon. Shadow Demon's trapped. Shadow Demon's taking whatever he can. Jakiro throws out that Flame Breath to do whatever damage, and the Ice Path not going to be able to find anyone. Then Boat comes down, lands onto 2, but there's no damage to follow it up, so that's a wasted Boat. Great pick off for Mek Level Gaming, retain all those heroes in. Lone Druid's still up top trying to find whatever he can. He should really try and go as fast as he can towards his tower. Try and find something, while Mek Level Gaming will take this bottom tower.
Yeah, definitely. Well played there by Mek Level Gaming. Although I gotta say, Noxious did well to only lose one hero there. They could have lost 3 quite easily. However, the disruption, well played there by the Shadow Demon, allowed the Jakiro to set up both his Jewel Breath and Ice Path, basically allowing the Shadow Demon to get away there, and also that Conquer.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
So now we do see that bottom tower going down in favour of Mek Level Gaming, and their gold lead just... it's starting to go down fast. I mean, they're 3.5k at 11.5 minutes. This is a lead. It's not massive by any means, but it is a lead, and it's just looking to go and snowball. Their XP is about 2,500 as well, because they're all getting XP. They're all team fighting, getting lots of XP from all these kills. Up at top lane we see a Sprout coming out. It's going to land on the Lone Druid, and then we're going to see a come in from the lifesteal and a support of the Rubik. They're going to turn back and around onto the Nature's Prophet. Nature's Prophet's falling fast. Can he get one more lucky crit? He's not going to find it. Nature's Prophet's going to get out of there, and we might see a Phantom Assassin die in the meanwhile. She does pick up that kill, but she will trade it for her life. Rubik's going to lift in 6 seconds. Lone Druid's trapped. Phantom Assassin jumps out of there pretty fine. Lone Druid's gone for that TP, and they do fantastic to get out of there. So Nature's Prophet does fall 2v3, and they are able to find a kill. This is what they need.
Definitely, that was actually their first kill on the board. However, very well played by them.
Got a Boat coming in into that Torrent. Torrent's going to whiff. Now they turn it around back onto the Clockwork. Clockwork throws out those cogs. Those dastardly cogs thrown out. Nature's Prophet buys back TPs in to make sure no one on his team survives. And it was a little bit of a hasty buyback. I mean, they got out of there fine with those cogs pushing back the entire side of Noxious. So a little bit of gold wasted there by that Nature's Prophet. But he's got a Midas, so he can use that Midas and keep farming away. So it's not going to be too much of a problem for him.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that boat was so close. If that boat hit, I could easily see 2 heroes fall there. Exit probably would not have survived, and Visage would have been very shaky as well. However, they are able to survive, and they do a little bit of chip damage on this tower, but it's not really going to cause too many issues for Noxious.
The Noxious, they're in a little bit of a predicament here. What do? Do they farm? Do they try and find a pick-off? Do they go for team fights? How do you think Noxious should try and take the next 10 minutes?
I feel like they might need to do a few smoke ganks. We do see that Mek Level Gaming, I mean, they are very close together at the moment. However, throughout the game, they have been a little bit split. So a few well-placed smoke ganks can certainly, or actually we're going to see a smoke gank, or at least a smoke up here from Mek Level, and it will be down onto Phantom Assassin. It seems, yep, they want
Smoke
her.
will be popped.
As I was saying, this is,
Smoke is popped.
yeah.
They're going to be turned onto the Phantom Assassin. They know Phantom Assassin is down. Lift is up. Cogs will come down. He's got nowhere to jump to, and he'll fall to the Visage's very strong soul assumption.
Yeah, and I feel like this is what Noxious should be doing. They should be buying that smoke, ganking up on Mek Level Gaming instead, as they're so far behind at the moment, and they need to pick off some heroes to start coming back. I feel like they can still probably get up ahead in terms of the team fights, as they do have the better team fight lineup. However, that Ruby can turn that around. Oh, we have a disruption here on Clockwork, and there's this Ice Path. He's going to drop very quickly. He's not going to be able to actually get out. He falls. So well played there by Noxious.
I think that Clockwork got a little bit aggressive there. I mean, he didn't have any wards. He had no support around near him. And he just ran into complete blindness. I mean, there's 3 wards up on the side of Noxious, so their warding has still prevailed even through their downfall. So they've got wards up in all the 3 main areas you need. You got one on your defensive rune, got one on top watching everything, and one in the middle to see if there's any rotation. Actually, that's a counter ward. So they've been making sure that... wait, yeah, that's a counter ward. So they're making sure that Mek Level Gaming aren't watching any of this mid lane. So the warden on the side of Noxious, it's been fantastic, and they will pick up another kill, which they desperately need. But as you said before, it does come down to how they want to play the next few minutes. If they do want to go for the smoke kick, and if they can find anything out, and if they find this life still out in the jungle and then shut him down for a while as he picks up his armlet just now, okay, right now it wouldn't be too bad because now he has his armlet, he's got his item. and he's going to be strong for the next 5 to 10 minutes until the armlet slowly gets worse and he goes for his next big item. So I think it comes down to this PA and how she's going. She's sitting on 4.6k net worth against Nature's Prophet at just under 5 and a lifesteal at 6.5. So it's looking at a very uphill battle on the side of Noxious.
Definitely. I mean, they have a long way to go. I mean, if you look at the gold graph, it's about a 4k lead. It's been like that for the last 5 or so minutes. However, they haven't really been able to capitalize on too many plays. Mek Level have really been on top of it. You know, they've been smoke ganking as we just saw before. They've been transitioning lanes when they need to. So Noxious are they're so far behind, and they seem a little bit lost. They're not sure what they can do to come back, and it's going to be tough for them. But actually, we might see a little bit of an engagement here on Lifestealer. No, never mind. He should be able to get out fine there. Not even gonna get spotted.
A little bit unfortunate if that Jakiro found him. Jakiro would either be dead or they would have a nice setup on the Lifestealer. So I guess it's a win-win almost for Noxious as they don't lose the hero there. But then it's also kind of a could have been a win. So either way, Noxious dodge a bullet, but they don't grab their own potential bullet to fire back out Mek Level Gaming.
Yeah, it could have been a good jump there on the Nakes, although he would have had to react very quickly, as you know, that rage obviously will ensure that Jakiro can't really do too much. If we do have a quick look at the items there, we can see Phantom Assassin. It looks like she's going to work towards that Helm of Dominator. She currently has her Drum of Endurance and Phase Boots. If we look at Kankai, he doesn't really have much. Only has got his Phase, his Bottle, and his Bracer. Lone Druid is... Well, actually, I'm not even sure what is on his Spirit Bear. We're going to see Mek Level Gaming take out the mid-tier 1 tower, pretty much uncontested. Yeah, not really much on the Spirit Bear either.
With the open wounds coming out of
Noxious in a tough
Conker's
spot.
in a lot of trouble. Fadebolt comes flying through. He pops his wand and he's going to get out of there. He just gets out of that wand. If he didn't pop that wand, that rocket coming flying through by that clockwork would have picked him off. So, just getting out of there by the skin of his teeth.
Yeah, very well played there by Mek Level Gaming. Unfortunate for them, they were unable to capitalize on. However, they want this Phantom Assassin. Here comes the teleport, but it's gonna be a bit too slow. And she'll get out fine.
One thing I would like to see Noxious do at the moment is Wizard Fox. He's sitting up this top lane. They know where all the heroes were, or was. Now this Rubik's jumped up top. He had all the time in the world to try and trade this tier 1 tower up top for this tier 1 mid. They need to at least make these trades. They're not trading. There's only 4 at each fight, and they could at least trade like as when they got the top tower, as Mek Level Game got the top tower, they could have traded bottom. As they got the mid tower, they could have traded top. Sure, there'd be 1 tower behind, but at least they would have those 2 extra towers and more gold up on everyone. And we will see a smoke instantly dispelled by Shadow Bladed Nature's Prophet, and Noxious are just they're kicking their pants. They're gonna throw down the Sentry Ward, double Sentry Ward. So that's a waste of a lot of gold there. That's 200 gold just thrown down the drain from Sentry Wards. And Nature's Prophet's gonna get out of there, dispel the smoke, which is another 100, and that's a big loss for Noxious Gaming. Another right punch into the testicles.
Yeah, I mean, they wasted that smoke. I mean, that's costly, but it's also on a 90-second cooldown, so they can't smoke for a minute and a half. And this will basically ensure that the Roshan will go to Mek Level Gaming, and from here on out, it's going to be very, very tricky for Noxious. With this Aegis, the lifesteal is going to be fine. I'm not sure what they can really do now.
They just, if they can get one good engagement, even if they get that good engagement, I think it's still going to be a very uphill gift battle, especially since they will have those two tokens, that extra token up on that lifesteal. And since he's not died as it is at the moment, I don't think he'll die with that token or die a second time. So it's looking very bad for Mek Level Gaming. Not Mek Level Gaming. For Noxious, looking very great for Mek Level Gaming. And speaking of Mek Level Gaming, they now have a mech up on this clockwork, so that's more heals, and that's just putting himself even further ahead. So I don't think anyone's going to die in this next engagement. If someone dies, I'm going to be extremely surprised, but happy for Noxious at the same time.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if we look at the items just for the Mek Level Gaming, we see that Medallion is on Visage as well as Arcane Boots. We do see Nature's Prophet, as you said, he does that Shadow Blade, he's had that Midas as well for a long time, ensuring that his farm stays on the ball. We do see that Mecha from Clockwork, so they have a lot of survivability, and they're not a very fragile team in general. I guess Rubik's probably the most fragile hero, really.
So
Even then, he
they're
can't.
chasing down the lone druid up the top. Clockwork's hookshot is just gonna miss. Nature's Prophet's going for that spread. He's going for it. He's got the sprout. This is the death of the lone druid. Cogs are gonna push him back. The infest gets popped. Will they have enough damage to pop him down? He gets bashed and then he's gone. Great rocket barrage or battery assault to stop that TP going out. And they do lose that lone druid. They do have to get that top, so it is partially worth it trying to get some map position back. How Nature's Prophet can TP anywhere with that last stealer. So who needs towers when you can just TP in with your secondary hero?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's the first tower to fall on Mek Level Gaming's side. Noxious are really struggling here. I feel like that if Mek Level push, they can't really even stop it. I mean, yes, they have the boat and the Jakiro, the Ice Path, the Macropire. However, the Mek Level Gaming is so far ahead now that it might not even matter. And they do have that mecha, so it's more survivability. It'll certainly help them in those team fights. Noxious have to be really careful here to not give out too many more deaths.
One little thing
Or towers
I
for that
find it a
matter.
little bit weird is that Phantom Assassin picking up an armlet. Like, you don't usually see armlets being picked up on heroes. It's, well, not on a PA anyway. Usually you want to go for that outright damage and crits. So an armlet on a PA, this could be a very interesting pickup. It'll either work massively or it will just backfire and she'll just get picked off anyway. So it's going to be an interesting thing to watch in the next engagement.
Yeah, it's actually it's an interesting pickup. Personally, I quite like it. It gives her much more attack speed and hopefully allows her ultimate, the Coup de Grace, Coup de whatever, however you pronounce it, to hit off more often. But there is also the effects of the dot. Although it does give her a lot more survivability. We'll see how it goes out for her, but I think regardless of where she went, it might not have even mattered at this point. I mean, they're so far behind. Phantom Assassin is now 3.5k below lifesteal in terms of net worth, and even below the Nature's Prophet at, well, it's almost 2k now.
So now, yeah, it's not looking too well for the side of... I'm sorry about that. It's not looking too well on the side of Noxious Gaming. They're getting a little bit of items to help in the next fights, but it's still looking bad. And we see his hookshot up top, defensive disruption, trying to keep that Jakiro alive. Jakiro does get out any damage he can with that Jewel Breath and Ice Puff. The boat's going to hit on one. Jakiro's still alive somehow. There he goes. He falls. And now Phantom Assassin's coming in. She's been lifted up. A counter boat coming back by this Rubik. Hitting on one, hitting on that PA. PA's been trapped inside those cogs. She dies to that Soul Assumption. Lifesteal is trying to get in there to do any damage he can to that Kanka. Kanka can't do anything. Kanka will fall. And that's 4 for 0 on the side of Noxious. Mek Level Gaming are happy. They're going to pick off that bear, so they're going to get 300 more gold on top of all that, and they're going to get a tier 2 and maybe do a little bit of chip damage to this tier 3 tower. So that was very bad for Noxious Gaming. They're quite far behind, and I don't think they can get out of this stump. They're now over 10k gold and XP, I'd say about 8k XP behind.
Yeah, and that was actually because of another smoke. Jakiro and I think it was Kanka had a smoke up, and once again they walked into, I believe it was Clockwork, who just pretty much set up that cogs on Jakiro and he fell. We see a little bit of a fight here going in mid. There's another boat. It's going to hit on Lone Druid. Clockwork is in a little bit of trouble, gets rooted, and there's the Ice Path to ensure he can't go anywhere. That's a good pick off for Noxious. It's a little bit what they need, but they need a few more kills. They're going to continue onto the Rubik. He picks up the bear. Will it be enough? There's a sprout. Oh, nope. And there's the Ice Path. He should be able to... Oh, Lifesteal is here. Turning this fight around. Phantom Assassin is now on the run.
So we see a 2-for-2 trade there with the Phantom Assassin Jakiro being picked off against the Rubik and Clockwork. Once again, not a favourable trade. Now they're going even further on base. They're diving the tier 3 tower, and then there goes Shadowdoon. He pops. There's nothing much he can do. Lifesteal just auto-attacking this Conker down. He gets trapped by his own creeps, and he'll fall himself. Lifesteal infests, get some health, kill these creeps, and this should be tier 3 tower. There's not much they can do to stop this anymore. They've taken too much casualties, too much damage, and are not a favourable trade. The Aegis does get popped, he does get hit by the Ice Path. There's no bear up in this Lone Druid, 14 seconds before he can resummon. Nature's Prophet will pick up the Desolator, and I believe also this Lifestealer just picked up his MKB on that, just in that previous fight actually, he picked up his MKB. So, they're snowballing hard. There's nothing you can stop Mek Level Gaming at this moment. And then Roshan will be up in 4 more minutes. They'll pick up that Roshan, and then they'll go again, and then most likely take this game. I can't really see Noxious doing too much to come back in this game. Every time they tried to do a smoke gank, they always ran into a hero of Mek Level Gaming. So it was a little bit unfortunate by Noxious. Every one of their smoke ganks, they've just ran into the opposite heroes at the wrong time, or it's just been dispelled, or they just haven't been able to set anything up. So Mek Level Gaming playing fantastic Dota.
Definitely. I mean, I was just looking at the items for both teams there, and Noxious really have nothing. I mean, Kunkers doesn't have his Shadow Blade. It's 27 minutes in now. He's only got his Claymore so far. In terms of gold, he's still about 500 gold off if he still wants to finish it. I'm guessing he will. I guess he can't really turn it into anything else. Lone Druid still doesn't have that Maelstrom up on the bear yet, so they're so far behind. And if you compare it to Mek Level Gaming, we see Rubik, he's got his Blink. We see Nature's Prophet, has his Desolator. As you said, Lifestyle, that MKB pretty much counters Phantom Assassin. I'm not sure what they can really do here. They're struggling.
And I think we're going to see the final death push. I mean, they've got all the lanes pushed out, and they're still pushing themselves in. And now they're moving down middle, just about to steamroll over Noxious Gaming here. They're up against the wall. Can they do anything against the wall? They've kept taking punches in every possible location. Are they able to recover? I'm not too sure. I don't think it's possible.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't think so either. We see there's a Gem of Truth right now on the Visage. That will ensure that any wards that were up for the Radiant are now gone. Even if Kanko does finish off that Shadow Blade, it's pretty much going to be useless, as he's going to get spotted immediately. And if we look in comparison, I mean, we see Mek Level Gaming, they've got so much great ward placement around the map. They've got Noxious's Ancient Camp warded. They have that obvious ward up there. And also in this side of the jungle, so they know everything. They know wherever Noxious are. We actually see a pick off there on the Phantom Assassin. Just caught out by herself. Very risky to be out that far with no backup, really.
And there we see the power of the MKB up against the PA. PA. She just can't do anything. Once that MKB's picked up, especially this far ahead, she's gone. Her one and only saving grace has just been countered, so I can't. There's not much Noxious can do. Now they're just delaying the inevitable, waiting for Mek Level Gaming to push in and then shove the nail into the coffin.
Yeah, I mean, they basically just need to push. They will certainly get a Rax, and they'll probably even go for the finish. I mean, there's nothing that Noxious can really do here. The Phantom Assassin is dead. There's Clockwork, he gets an excellent cogs off. There's disruption, but it's probably not going to matter too much. See, fight continues. Actually, Soul Assumption completely misses. There's a great macro pyre there. It does quite a lot of damage here, but it's not going to be enough.
Pia's coming in. She tries to go for
the actually, here comes a boat.
Boat does hit on 2. That does a lot of damage with the drill breath coming through, picking off 2 kills. The boat almost finishing off that lifesteal, but lifesteal was in that range from his armlet tugging his way to victory. 2 buybacks on the side. We will see this Clockwork die very shortly. One more auto attack. He will turn around. So Assumption's been thrown out, not doing enough damage to kill off anyone. PA armlet tugging herself to victory, or himself to victory, and still not dying. So 2 buybacks. 2 more deaths, so that's 4 for 0 on the side of Noxious. They desperately needed that. They're gonna be happy to take it, and now they show they can still fight this game. Mek Level Gaming, however, did get that Rax, and that's all they really needed in the end. They traded 4 kills for a Rax. Is it worth it? sure, why not? It does keep that middle lane pushed in. They can push another lane, and it'll just keep them that much further ahead. However, that does help Noxious out a lot.
Yeah, I mean, they managed to capitalize on quite a few kills there, for, as you said. However, they lost that Rax, and it's quite crucial. I mean, Mek Level can basically just leave this mid lane alone, and it's not going to be a problem. Actually, we see Nature's Prophet now engaging here on Shadow Demon. He's going to have no problems picking him off there. But yeah, I mean, we saw even with those kills, the gold graph basically didn't even move there. It slightly dipped up more towards Noxious' side, but nothing to really, it's a tiny dent, essentially.
One of the things I felt was a little bit off by Mek Level Gaming, they left the Jakiro just behind the Rax, and Jakiro sitting on about 100 HP. They could have, one more auto attack would have finished him off by the lifesteal. However, lifesteal turned to the Rax and did kind of the right thing and did go for those Rax, but one more auto attack would have finished off the Jakiro. Jakiro would have fallen, he wouldn't have got that dual breath off, he wouldn't have got the macro pie, he wouldn't have got the ice path, and that would have been the game right there for Mek Level Gaming. However, they did the little bit of not attacking that Jakiro. Jakiro got his stuff off, and that turned the fight on those towers. So they will now pick up that Roshan, and Token going onto that lifesteal.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to push out on this bottom lane. No surprise there. Clockwork is by himself in this mid. It looks like he's going to transition into bottom with his team. And we should see another potential Rax, although who knows, if Noxious have another great engagement, sort of like they did in that mid lane, they might still be in this, but we'll see how it goes down.
Like, the XP slowly started to pull back in, but it's going back out again. They're trapped in their base, they can't do anything. Mek Level Game's got free farm over the entire map, and they can just keep putting themselves further ahead. If Noxious try to smoke out of their base, it'll be quite obvious because that middle lane will keep pushing in, and Mek Level Gaming, they don't seem to want to be splitting up from each other anyway, except for this Nature's Prophet, but he's got right over this map, he owns it, he can do whatever he wants. Throwing out the Wrath of Nature, coming through, the lifesteal's raged up, Torrent's got a miss, got the boat coming flying in, Juppy's almost dead on the backgrounds by the PA, still trying. However, Pickles, manning up, he's trying to find whatever he can, Hookshot comes flying in, we will see the death, the H being popped, so the H's have popped in that macrofire, but Jakiro's still stuck inside of those cogs. One more auto attack, he's not going to be auto attacked yet, he's going to run away. Nature's Prophet in the backline doing a lot of damage, Ice Path coming through, the Entangle's coming up, Nature's Prophet needs 2 more auto attacks, he turns around, hits that Jakiro, but however he will fall to Lundrud, who did get that final kill, but there's 4 against 2, with no buybacks on the side of Noxious Gaming, none on the heroes that are dead. So this is going to be tier 3 Rax, and this is probably going to be game for Mek Level Gaming.
Yeah, I mean, Noxious look like they might. There's the GG. Never mind. Well done there by Mek Level Gaming. Congratulations to them. Gonna pop that GG button.
Barracks are under attack.
So Mek Level Gaming, they will now take that second position on the ladder. Noxious Gaming will be moving down to 3rd on the Cybergamer Ladder. So they're going to be a little bit unhappy about that, but there's not much they could do about it. Mek Level Gaming just played such a fantastic game. I mean, Noxious Gaming could have tried to rotate their supports out, maybe done a little bit differently, maybe try and force that tri-lane versus tri-lane. However, against those tri-lane positions, you're up against the Visage, and that's what he wants. So Noxious Gaming was in a little bit of a corner there. They couldn't do too much. They went for what they could, but unfortunately Mek Level Gaming just played that step up and were able to find every opening they could.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Mek Level Gaming, I feel like Noxious maybe should have rotated that bottom tri lane up into top, and have the Lone Druid come down into bottom, so he's up against the Nature's Prophet, because he would have done relatively fine in that lane. The smoke ganks, unfortunately, not ending up doing really much. In fact, it was probably against them. I mean, both times they tried to smoke, they got caught out, and it cost them their lives. It's quite unfortunate there for Noxious. But yeah, congratulations to Mek Level Gaming. Well played by them.
Yeah, I'd just like to point out one more thing, that I think if Noxious, if they picked up the Magnus instead of Conquer, I love my Magnus, he's ridiculously good, but I still think if they may have picked up that Magnus instead of that Conquer, I mean, they had a boat that landed on one person, one fight, and almost one person, another fight. If they had that Magnus and had those RPs, you'd go through that BK, the rage immunity of lifesteal, and you'd probably be able to grab a few more people in those fights, especially with that Clockwork initiating your side. You could skewer the Clockwork out, skewer into their team, and then get those RPs off of maybe 2, 3, and hopefully 4 people, and the fights could have been turned around, especially with that Ice Path to follow it up, Shadow Demon to throw out his Shadow Poisons, and the 2 carries doing what they do best, targeting down anyone they go for. So I think the game could have been a little bit quite a bit different if they picked up that Magnus and ran him mid instead of this Conquer, but you know, things happen, heroes get chosen, and that's the way the cookie crumbles in the end.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that's going to be it for us tonight. Thank you very much for everyone who watched. As always, this stream is in support of Child's Play. So if you can, please donate to them. You can do so via the channel. Just click on the giant Child's Play logo at the bottom. It'll take you directly to the donation page. You can also obviously donate via the Child's Play website itself. I've been Xalorith, and with me has been Dota Yoshi. Thank you very much.
Have a good one.